captain to the fly,
Okay, the first place we went to outside of Honiara and these islands was setting up a place at Ugi. What had happened at Ugi was there was two schools on Ugi, Pawa and what was the other one's name? Pamua. No, the one on
Hill School?
Hill School. Hill School, that's it. The other one was Hill School. And when Hill School closed, they had some farm workers there and some cattle there, and we were invited to go down there. So there was this big dormitory, so all the accommodation was already there, apart from the older headmaster's house, which was, I think it had about 150 million things eating away the wood, so that was dangerous on the, and so we settled there. There was just, first of all, there was only 4 of us went there, and Brother Brian was there. Then Old Man Francis went there as well, we settled down there, and it was very good because there was good land. There was ministry at school, and you just walk along the beach and up Jacob's Ladder and into the school, and easy canoe ride across to Makira. So we thought it was a very good place to be, and we developed quite well there. The beginning of the real troubles, I think, was when the diocese decided to stop the farm, you see, and so suddenly the cattle, we were looking after the cattle because the farm workers had all gone, and we also had a cyclone there, which was absolutely amazing. It just about got wiped out, and all the old house got knocked down, and there's these great big trees. Has anybody been to Ugi? No? Yeah. Right along the beach there's very big trees. I can't remember, what kind of tree were they? Can you remember?
I think Salsalo, I think.
Yeah, very, very big one. And it was amazing because there's the cyclone. I mean, every roof and iron came, some off the church, off the old house that was at the bottom, and the trees were decorated with roofing iron stuck in them. And it was a big powerful one, went on the beach, and another one on the beach, and it was I mean, the place was almost wrecked. The thing I liked most of all about Ugi was that everyone worked together. You can go around, walk together. I mean, there would be a big feast over at the other side of the island, and you could walk there in a couple of hours. And I think that was a good thing about it being a small island. There were some sad things, not in our time, it didn't happen, but one of our friends, who was the man who helped us most and advised us about Ugi and various things, and was fishing, and the spearfish, jumped and went through his neck, and they found him lying in the canoe in the boat. So there's sad memories for that place too. There's some funny ones as well, because Brother Francis rushed into the toilet one morning, and lost his teeth down the toilet, and it got flushed away into the sewer, and it had a big sewer outside, you see. And what was the name of the brother from Maleta? Henry. Anyway, they went to Francis and said, "Oh brother, we're going to lift up the top of the sewage tank, and we can climb down and get your sewer from where all the backpacking something is gone, you see." And Francis said, "Oh no," because his teeth had fallen out into the toilet, just as he flushed it and down into the. Oh, all sorts of funny things happened there. I think one of the hardest things there really was when you went to swim. There was a stream just above the side, but it was only about this deep. So you'd have to stand naked in the stream and sort of throw water up. So that was one of the hardest parts of it, I think, because there wasn't such a good supply for the rainwater for the thing. But we had cattle and goats and some milk and it was a good place. And we also were very much involved in the island. And then, of course, what happened eventually was the school just about closed down, and they moved to Kira. And then there was less ministry than ever there, so it was decided to move from there. And they took down the buildings and all the things and put them in the boat. And where do you think they sailed them to? All the wood from the buildings. Do you know where they sailed them to? Yeah, here. Came here. So the first buildings built here were the buildings that had been blown down in Ugi. They were put on the church ship and brought here, and this is where Giles built the thing.
So I think that's the shed.
I'm not sure.
Down there. I got a video with Giles talking about that from his memory, which
yes.
I'll put onto a DVD too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that shed was the first building they built here.
Yeah, and so they used these stuff from Ugi to start this friary here. So there's a continuation of that thing. And as I say, Ugi was a happy time. I mean, my brother was also in the community at that time, and I don't know. I can cut up a cow, I can cook a cow, but I can't kill it. And so my brother was the one that had to kill the cows or the cattle. It's because he was down there too. Ugi's a really beautiful island, I think, but it's isolated. And the other big problem for us staying there was transport, because you don't get any ships there, and really it's not too far from the other island, but it's a very dangerous strait. Yeah, you know, it's dangerous sailing between the two, and if you're rowing, it's possible to row, but if you get caught in the currents or if the weather breaks down, it's very dangerous. So, and I think there was all these reasons we were leaving Ugi. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It was like being in the Garden of Eden, with everything that you wanted was there. Apart from this little stream where you had to, because at first we didn't have good water, and so you had to have your swim in this much water. Yeah. But as I say, it's a beautiful spot, and of course then when the schools closed and that, it made it that we had to move from there, and that's when they started up the work in Kirikira.
How many brothers would there normally have been there in your time?
Well, it was an novitiate that time.
Yeah. So how many novices did we have around then?
So there would be, if I can think rightly, there'd be about 6 brothers and about the same number of novices, yeah. And they would, you know, there was a lot of people who would come from the island, from Ugi, and stay with us for a while. In fact, there was Colin was with us. Yeah. It was certainly a nice place to be, but it would have been good to keep it as a holiday place, because there certainly wasn't any ministry at that time.
People there still ask us to return
Yeah?
to the our protector still ask us
Ah.
to go back to the same old place, Alangaula.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a holiday place, should be alright.
Has anybody been to Alangaula?
Oh,
Many people here?
no.
Yeah. Because it was a school at first,
Mm.
and then it was a
Mission school.
mission school, and then there was the high school on the top of the hill
Oh.
at Power. And the thing is, you know, lots of these places you have had memories for. There was a friend of ours there, lovely man who used to come, and he was the one who helped us from the beginning. And not long after we left, we got a message that he'd been fishing one morning, and this starfish got up and went through his neck, and they found him dead in the boat, in the canoe. The worst memory I have at that place is celebrating in, not in our chapel, but in the village chapel, because they had the whole of the sanctuary floor was coral, and you're standing in bare feet with coral, and it's very hard. Yeah. But I think Ugi is one of my top places for the Solomons. And so if you're ever visiting there, good place. And it's a very strong Anglican history.
One of the good things about Alangaula is that nowhere to go. If the novitiate is there, it will be really nice. You can't go anywhere. Just around the island, finish. But just because of communication breakdown, that's why we move. But or else, it should be the place where novitiate should go. I prefer that because nowhere to go.
We were very lucky there, because when the cyclone came, we dropped the wires from the intercom and then the storm came, and I think just about every place was cut off, and we were one of the few people that, because we put our wires up again, and we were able to talk to Taranyara and other places, yeah, and give reports of what was happening.
I remember that because during that cyclone it was flooding. So Francis was sleeping in the chair and I was sleeping there, just along the corridor. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because all over in this building here, this floor building, like that, flooded.
Yeah.
So water here in this. So sleep now. Every house all same.
The funny was Francis went to see all the papers. I mean, that was 1990. All the papers of his notes and memories and things like that, books he's writing, and he We saved some of them. We got back into the library, and then we just got settled into the library, which was a dry place. And then who came in? The goat. And so the goat came and slept with Francis. The big male goat came because he wouldn't go back outside because it was blowing and raining. And but it's sort of you start thinking, oh, this is all one family. You see, the cows were all right; they'd gone up the top of the hill, out of the way. I think some of the chickens laid their eggs, but got them pushed back in again by the wind. Yeah. So that was Ugi, and I mean I was very sad when we moved from there, and of course Giles, I think by this time, not long after that, I was in Papua New Guinea, and Giles was here, and he went and took down the buildings, because there's buildings at the back and other buildings we had built had been, the 4 buildings at the back had been dormitories for school children, and he took them down and brought them here, and a lot of the wood and materials used for building here was the stuff that came from Ugi. So in a way, this is the second Ugi, and Ugi is linked with this place now. I mean, it was a good place. It was, how shall I say, really, it was a tradition of learning, because Pawa was the top school in Solomon. The Lehitikera was, further down. Then what was the name of the, no, the school?
Hill School.
Hill School. Hill School was a very good junior primary school, and lots of the children went up to Palma and Pamoa. So it was a I think you could say Ugi was a strong development of the Anglican Church, of the education of people in this country, because it was where most of the best education took place. And in fact, Selwyn started not long after that, and really is the daughter church of the school. So I think it's in the history, it's a huge piece of the history of the church in Melanesia. Yeah.
That's why all the Anglicans, the Governor General, you name it, bishops from there.
Mm. And they had a very good hospital there as well.
Yes, Therapy.
Therapy. And I think one of the other sad things about not long after that was how Taroniara changed. You see, instead of being a place of shipbuilding and having a fleet there, I think only one ship now.
Yeah.
Just Southern Cross. You see, when we went to live there was Southern Cross, Badley. What was the other one? There's 3 or 4, and then there's Charles Fox and Toomey. Oh, Toomey got wrecked. Yeah, that got wrecked. But it was a big centre, and I think most of the problem was too expensive to run all these ships and to get round, and the government started doing more.
Talking about Taroniara, it's running down.
Taroniara.
Former brother is Mailassi, Gabriel Mailassi. It's the parish priest there, chaplain for the area, with his wife, and they lived in the house that you used to live in.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
Brother, my question is, when you moved into Ugi, what was the reason for going to Ugi? Is it the church invitation for you to go for certain reasons or just for a mission?
I think the main reason was we were invited to go there because all of these church buildings were empty, and they said it's a good place for you to start this training of novices, and all the buildings are there because there was 4 dormitories up here. There's a big church. There was a house which wasn't in good condition, but you know that it was set up already. It had been a school, and now it was available to be a place of teaching for novices. And there was like here used to be lots of cattle and things like that. So the big problem was that the not long after that, as I say, a couple of years after, the church got rid of ships. You see, didn't have as many ships, and so it was very, transport became very bad, very hard.
It's during the time the mission ships, brothers and batteries and sisters, got to go free, no pay fare. So when we go in, go all the way. For Kasimia come back, maybe pay fare too.
They had 5 ships there.
Yeah.
I think we got one.
Yeah.
What year did brothers go there?
What years did brothers go there? Yeah, oh gosh, that's making me have to think now. Can you remember?
70s.
It's in the 70s, yeah?
Yeah. Then the 70s.
Yeah.
Not 71. Just after that.
Yeah, because you see, after that closed, then I'd gone over to Papua New Guinea, and Giles was here. Then Giles went down there and brought all of the furniture and the wood and the buildings back here on the ship and started building here. And so you'll see some of these buildings of the ones that were down there.
So our group went there 1979. 78, 79. By Batman.
Yeah,
Not Batman, sorry. Selwyn.
Selwyn.
Ship called Selwyn.
And Selwyn went down to
Vanuatu.
Vanuatu. I mean, it's to be honest with you, I thought it was a little bit sad, but because it was a nice place to live, nice island, nice fishing, all the people were good. You could walk to the, you know, if the celebration was the other side of the island, you could walk round or over the top of the hill. You know, it was all the things that a small island make good. You see, and so you knew all the people, and yeah, that was good. And its purpose was good because it was for training, and when you train, you need to be to have novices in a secure place, a place where it's easy for teaching, where they can experience things. When we first went there, a very good school on the top, and some used to go up teaching with power. And then it's just everything changed very quickly, mainly because the big development of Selwyn College.